Good morning, and welcome to the LLM graduates, family, and friends. Graduates, congratulations on all that you have achieved. It has been a pleasure having you at Berkeley Law this summer. To your family and friends, thank you for sharing these wonderful people with us this summer. It has been a delight to have them here. We hope you will join us for celebratory reception following the ceremony this morning. I should introduce myself. I'm Anique Hirsch, and I'm the Dean of Students here at UC Berkeley School of Law. And now I am delighted to present to you our student speaker this morning, Marcela Villatora Quevedo. Did I do okay? Marcela is a remote plus summer student born and raised in Chihuahua, Mexico. She will graduate in December with her LLM degree and a business certificate. Marcela holds a bachelor's degree in law from Tecnológico de Monterrey and currently practices transactional and corporate law in the Mexican law firm E.C. Rubio. She looks forward to returning to Mexico with the new perspective on compliance, governance, and ethics, which she gained in this program, so that she can improve her clients' operations, as well as help her Mexican colleagues better understand the international market and current panorama of AI globally. Please welcome Marcela.
Welcome, everybody, to our commencement ceremony. I want to start today by challenging something we've all heard before. The lawyers are cold and calculating, and that we keep people at arm's length because that's what the profession demands. But that's not what I've seen during my time studying here at Berkeley. What I found instead is people who, behind the resumes, the titles, and the impressive trajectories, are kind. I'm grateful to be surrounded not only by incredibly talented people, but by people who are kind, passionate, and empathetic. People who are open in conversation and who make a real effort to truly know those around them. That is a breath of fresh air in this madness of a world we are living right now. In a world that rewards hardness, everyone can be cruel, but not everyone can remain kind. Being kind, it's an act of resistance. And let me tell you all, right now, your existence is resistance. And not only through your kindness, but in other ways too. Your courage in stepping out of your comfort zone and applying to this program. Your persistence in getting everything ready and tailoring it perfectly so you can get in the school. Your openness to change, whether that meant studying and working at the same time, knowing how demanding that will be, or pausing your career, knowing that that might come at a cost later. And now while studying, it shows in the passion you bring every time you talk about something that excites you, or in your willingness to be changed by a perspective that isn't your own. And we were lucky to land somewhere that knew how to receive all of that. UC Berkeley didn't just welcome those qualities, it gave them room to grow. Thank you, dear faculty. You've made it so easy for us to be passionate about what we do. You didn't just hand us knowledge. You gave us a space to express our ideas and even to question our own perspectives or the way we do normally things. That's what it means to be surrounded by incredible scholars, being constantly challenged, but still leaving every class fulfilled, inspired, and eager for the next one. Thank you for helping us reinvent ourselves. I remember we were told at the beginning of the program that if we ever had any doubts about deciding to come to Berkeley and pursue this master's, we shouldn't, because we had made the right choice. I can now confirm that we did. This experience has been nothing but magical, and I cannot help but feel sad that it's coming to an end. Because what's not magical about studying alongside scholars from different countries, public prosecutors who want to change and bring a new perspective into their field, even engineers who study law as a second degree, and parents of 2, even 3 kids who, despite the huge responsibility, came here to be better. How can you not be inspired by that? Thank you, classmates, for letting us glimpse a little into your life, your dreams, and your hopes for the future. This program would not have been the experience of a lifetime that it was without every one of you. We know it hasn't been easy. Maybe you've missed your loved ones. Maybe you've experienced grief or still are. Maybe you don't know what comes next. But remember that even while carrying these battles in silence, you are here and you've made it. You are already part of the change this world so desperately needs. You've made an impact not only as an incredible, talented lawyer, but as a caring human being. Kindness will allow us to return the world better than we found it. Time will pass and life will go on. There may come a day where you're not sure if you're on the right path. If that day comes, don't forget who you are and who you became here. Congratulations, class of 2026. Now as masters, let's master what lies ahead. Thank you.
Every year, the graduating class selects a faculty member to be faculty speaker. This year, they chose Professor Bill Fernholz. William Fernholz, also known as Professor Bill, or simply Bill, has taught at Berkeley Law for more than 20 years. Bill has taught fundamentals of U.S. law, the introductory substantive law course for LLM students, for over a decade. In that time, he's been the first professor for more than 2,000 LLM students. His life mission is to introduce talented international lawyers to the success and failures of the American system of governance and the common law method of case analysis. Bill has educated a generation of domestic JD students on how to brief and argue appellate cases. He's also taught social justice courses such as employment discrimination and civil rights litigation. Before teaching at Berkeley Law, Bill practiced civil rights and poverty law at several Bay Area law firms and nonprofits. Bill is a 1993 graduate of Berkeley Law, where he served as senior executive editor of the Law Review. Please welcome Professor Bill Fernholz.
Oh, congratulations to you, class of 2026, the best class ever. And you're graduating from the best law school in the known universe. And congratulations to you, family and friends and classmates of the best class ever. And I want you to know that you are the best families, the best friends, and the best classmates that they could ever have had. Okay, so I'm honored to be the first teacher to so many of the students here. And now today, for many of them, I'm going to be their last teacher, forever. So I've got 10 minutes to tell you everything that I haven't told you before. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you why you're a lawyer, and that's going to take 3 minutes. Then I'm going to tell you my biggest fear for you. So if you've heard me talking about hopes, dreams, and fears, we're going to focus on the latter, okay? That's going to take no more than 4 minutes, but it's going to be a little bit depressing, okay? And then at the end, I'm going to bring it all back. I'm going to call you heroes. You're going to feel good, and then we'll get on to the important stuff of, conferral of certificates, etc. Okay? So, first, why are you a lawyer? Well, it pays well. It's interesting, right? And I think your family and friends will agree that at least some of you really, really, really like to argue. But that's not an explanation for why you are a lawyer. So what's the purpose of you being a lawyer? Let me suggest to you what your purpose is. Law is like DNA. It's the DNA of a society, and it determines the opportunities and limitations within that society. So your purpose as a lawyer is to maintain and repair the DNA of your society. That's what your purpose is. So if you're a corporate lawyer, you maintain and repair the system that underpins the prosperity of your nation and of the world. If you are an intellectual property lawyer, you maintain and repair the system that spurs innovation and growth. And if you are a civil rights lawyer, you maintain and repair the system that ensures freedom and opportunity for all within the society. And you fulfill these purposes simply by doing your job and doing your job well. So that's the good news, right? Now comes the depressing stuff. The bad news is that maintenance and repair are real chores. They're difficult. It's no fun to maintain and repair an institution. Sometimes it's fun to build an institution, and often it's really fun to tear down an institution. But to maintain and repair, that takes hard work. So what I fear, and what I think you should fear as well, is that there are so many people in the United States, and indeed across the globe, who have fallen in love with tearing things down without any plan to build anything in its place. Now, the people who love tearing things down with no plan to build something better, they're coming for you. They are, because you have talent. And soon, if you don't have it already, some of you are going to have money, and some of you are going to have power. My fear is that you won't recognize these people, because when they come, they're going to come with a smile on their face, and they're going to offer you an easy path. Those are the dangerous type, and I say that even though I spent a lot of my life smiling, okay? So, in the past, it was like this. A friendly partner at the law firm might visit your office and tell you how to increase your billable hours. And he'll say something like, well, you can work on one client's matters while you travel for another client, and then you get to bill both clients. And if you say, well, how about if I work and travel for the same client at the same time? Then there's a smile, and they say, oh, we don't do it that way here, right? Or it might be that the partner says to you, hey, your hours are a little low. I think you're not billing for thinking about the work that you're going to do for the client. So if you're in the shower and you're just thinking about the work, call it strategizing and bill for it, right? Okay, now, if you hang around that firm long enough, you're going to internalize those evil lessons, and you're going to care more about the firm than you are about the client, right? Now, think about who actually deserves your loyalty. A whole bunch of them are here right now. But maybe your loyalty extends beyond your circle here, might extend to people in your nation, people in your community, etc. In the United States and in many other nations as well, right now the smiling friend is demanding levels of unquestioning loyalty I've never seen before, and not necessarily to the people that you'd wish to give yourself your loyalty to. I'll tell you, it's never been easier if you're a United States citizen to get a job as a lawyer in the United States government. All you have to do is do exactly what the boss says. And if you do exactly what the boss says and ignore what the courts say and ignore what justice says, you can get that job as a lawyer in the United States. The problem is that you'll cease maintaining and repairing the law, and you'll start tearing it down with a smile on your face. Depressing, isn't it? It's got one more minute of depressing stuff. You've got two alternatives, and there are only two alternatives. They are voice and exit. You can protest or you can quit. Now, I'm not saying all of you are going to face this situation. Maybe not even most of you, but some of you will, and so I'm addressing you. Luckily, you've been preparing to protest and preparing to quit. You have. You came to Berkeley, after all, and you didn't take the easy path by doing that. You left behind family. You left behind friends. You left behind structure. And then you sacrificed something. And then when you were here at Berkeley, you sacrificed as well, by studying hard, sometimes at least, by spending money for me, right? You sacrificed. I want you to keep exercising that habit, because the momentary sacrifice is going to protect you. It's going to protect you from the permanent danger of corruption. Okay, that's the depressing stuff. I'm going to bring it back. Go out there and show the courage that you have been showing in coming here, okay? I'm so proud of you. We're so proud of you already. We really, really are. My best heroes now are my students and my former students. When you come and talk to me in the future, as most of you should, I want to hear your heroic stories. To you, you're my heroes. So congratulations, class of 2026. I am so proud of you. Go out, do great things.
As many of you know, our next speaker was going to be our dean. Unfortunately, he was called away, and so in his place, I am very excited to introduce our associate dean and Professor Jonathan Glader. Dean Glader joined our faculty in 2021. His scholarship examines how legal frameworks both facilitate and restrict entry into higher education, with a particular emphasis on the influence of student debt on academic prospects. Dean Glader earned his JD from Yale Law School, where he also received a master's in international relations. Prior to joining academia, Dean Glader devoted almost 10 years to journalism as a reporter for the New York Times. So I bet he has some interesting stories if you want to ask him at the reception. Please welcome Dean Jonathan Glader.
Good morning and congratulations. It's really an honor to address you all here. This is another achievement as you move along in your professional path, and we are so glad that it was here at Berkeley Law. My name's Jonathan Glader. I'm an associate dean for teaching here, as you heard. Our dean had an unfixable conflict, and he told me to make sure to tell you how much he regrets missing this exercise, so I'm starting with that. I'm very honored to have the chance to speak with you for a few minutes, and I'll keep it at a few minutes. I didn't measure the parts of it like Professor Bill. I wish I'd thought of that. But I assure you it will be short. I know I'm one of the things standing between you and the reception. I've been pondering quite a bit what note to sound in speaking to you at this moment. I settled on hope, and that's because I have high hopes for you. So many of you will resume or launch careers in different parts of the world, and I hope you will take what you've learned here and put it to good use wherever you land. Uses that help rather than harm. This is one of the reasons this program is such a gem. It's a way for us to contribute to an international trafficking in ideas, of knowledge, and it's a way that we can learn from the knowledge and experiences of people who've grown up in different legal traditions and different legal cultures. So I hope we will benefit from your ideas somewhat selfishly, because we need some good ideas. This country is deeply divided. Our judiciary is led by a high court that has issued decisions that undermine democracy, and instead of seeking to contribute to stability among nations, our foreign policies right now are disruptive and destructive. We could use some role models. We could use some good ideas. We confront challenges on a global scale, from the proliferation of terrifying weapons to the prospect of equipping those weapons with autonomous intelligence, to the living conditions on the planet itself. We confront age-old conflicts. We also seem quite good at creating new ones. We struggle to address long-standing inequalities along lines of class, race, gender, religion. If there's a way we differ, it seems there is someone determined to make sure that the difference divides rather than is cause for celebration. So you may be wondering when I'm going to get to the hope part. Bear with me. It's here with you because this program brings together students from different parts of the world and helps to remind us of all of the things that we have in common, like belief in the rule of law, like belief in fairness, like the virtue of democracy, like the ability to recognize unfairness and the impulse to do something about it. We've seen how these beliefs have led people to act with courage and conviction in the past and the present, both here in the United States and elsewhere. We've seen the role that lawyers can play as advocates who throw sand in the gears of injustice to protect their clients, and as enablers to those who would build something better and need to know how to make it durable, how to make it last. Creative lawyers developed arguments that persuaded the courts in this country to permit same-sex marriage, extending a privilege to people without regard to whom they love. Creative lawyers a few decades back developed the arguments that persuaded the courts in this country that excluding Black people from opportunity violated the terms of our Constitution. Creative lawyers in other countries have developed laws that try to restrain the use of artificial intelligence in circumstances that could harm people, in circumstances when human judgment is essential. In none of these instances have the results been perfect, nor have the arguments used been flawless, but the law made conditions better than they were before. So maybe in a few years, creative lawyers will succeed with arguments that gender identity should not be a basis for exclusion. Maybe creative lawyers in a few years will establish that state action to fight inequality is not discriminatory. Maybe in a few years, creative lawyers will succeed with arguments that immigration status should not determine what rights you have. Maybe in a few years, creative lawyers will succeed with arguments that deprivation of adequate health care also violates a right that we should recognize. I don't know. I'm counting on you. But I do know that as lawyers, and now lawyers with a Berkeley Law LLM, you have more power than most to make a difference. This is not to dictate the path that you take, not to valorize any one particular area of law, but it is to remind you that on those occasions when you confront or advise on decisions that improve people's lives, or could impoverish them, choose to improve. This will not always be easy, but you know that, you've studied it, you recognize it. You do not need to shy away from seizing those opportunities when they present themselves. And that's why I have hope. So don't let us down, go make a difference, and please forgive us when we try to claim credit for all the great things that you do. Thank you, and again, congratulations.
We now turn to the presentation of awards, yay, for Best Written Memoranda and Best Oral Presentation. To honor our award recipients, we welcome Legal Research and Writing Professor James Higa.
Hello. Just making sure you're still here. My name is James Higa, and among the many hats I've worn here at Berkeley Law in the LLM program, not this particular hat, but the others, I've taught legal research and writing for approximately a dozen years, like my colleague, Professor Charles Reichman, sitting in the back row. Legal research and writing at Berkeley Law is intense. I know I'm stating the obvious for all of you seated to my right. Our program demands a great deal of effort from the students. They improve their common law reasoning and analysis and build their skills in written and oral communication. As the final assignment, all LLM students write a 15 to 20-page memorandum. They must demonstrate effective writing with clarity, concision, and proper use of writing mechanics. In addition to drafting a challenging memorandum, each student delivers an oral presentation. These presentations cover a diverse range of legal topics, and the professors evaluate the presentations for substance, style, and technique. The awards today are for students in our 2-summer program. The students in our Remote Plus summer program will receive awards at the completion of their program. These were very difficult decisions for the professors. I can attest to the difficulty in making these decisions, as many of our students did an outstanding job. Please hold your applause until all names have been read. First, Best Written Memorandum. Please stand when I say your name. Susie Liu. Matthias Müller. Please remain standing. Hannah Fong. Mara Lopes. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Next, the award for Best Oral Presentation. And again, please stand when I say your name. Jaime Rodriguez. David Faustus Ellebrat. Lakshita Bhargava. And Araba Ando. Congratulations.
We now turn to recognizing students who've earned certificates of specialization. Berkeley Law recognizes that many students come here to gain experience in a specific area of law, and we recognize their focus and dedications through the certificates. First, we welcome Professor Eric Stallman, Assistant Clinical Professor of Law and Co-Director of the Berkeley Berkeley Center for Law and Technology, who is here to honor the recipients of the Law and Technology Certificate and the AI Law and Regulation Certificate.
To the graduating class of 2026, congratulations. This is an extraordinarily challenging time to be practicing law in technology and technology-related fields. Search engines are no longer search engines. Search engines are now answering machines. And they sometimes reach answers using a process that is only poorly understood, imperfectly understood, even by the individuals who built those machines. And sometimes they reach those decisions using information that none of us knew the machines had access to. It's a time of tremendous opportunity, but also tremendous risk. Fortunately, the unique training that you've had at Berkeley Law's exceptional law and technology program has equipped you to be thoughtful, nuanced, creative, and ethical in navigating those opportunities and risks. In your work on discrete matters and issues for the clients and causes that you represent, you'll be helping to shape the future development of emerging technologies and also the future development of the law. So on behalf of all of us, please make good decisions. We appreciate the tremendous amount of work that you put into achieving the certificates and the work that be here today. We are proud of what you've accomplished at Berkeley Law, and we're excited to see what you will accomplish next. So please stand if you are earning a law and technology certificate. And be seated. Good. Now, please stand if you are earning an AI Law and Regulation certificate. Thank you again for the work you put in, and congratulations.
Next, we recognize recipients of the Business Law Certificate. Kenton King, who is noted in the program, was unable to join us today due to a conflict, but we are very fortunate to have Professor Andrew Baker here to speak on behalf of the Berkeley Center for Law and Business. Professor Baker.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Baker, and I'm speaking today on behalf of the Berkeley Center for Law and Business, whose executive director, Anjali Patel, wishes she could be here herself to celebrate this moment with you as well. It's an honor to stand here before the graduating class of the executive track LLM, particularly to recognize the group of you who went above and beyond during your time here and received the Business Law Certificate. The Berkeley Law Center for Law and Business, BICLB, if you will, exists because law and business frequently occupy the same world. The best prepared lawyers, especially those who advise companies, investors, and entrepreneurs, are those who understand not just the law, but also how the business actually works, how deals get done, how risk gets managed, and how decisions get made under pressure. And we hope that this is the training that the Business Law Certificate gave you all. Earning this certificate meant taking on additional coursework on top of an already rigorous curriculum. It meant choosing to build a deeper fluency in corporate law, transactions, and finance. And whatever path you take next, whether it be advising on cross-border deals, sitting in-house at a company, joining a firm's corporate or litigation practice, or launching something on your own, you hopefully now carry a credential that signals command of that intersection between legal and business thinking. So, will the recipients of the Business Law Certificate please stand up? On behalf of the Berkeley Center for Law and Business, we want to say congratulations. We are proud of what you have accomplished, and we can't wait to see where this training takes you next.
Okay, we are now moving on to conferring the degree of Master of Laws to our 62 candidates. This moment is the culmination of intellectually rigorous study by the students sitting in front of you today. We look forward to the wonderful things they will accomplish in their legal careers, and we are proud to call all of you graduates of Berkeley Law. Will the LLM candidates please rise? It's right there.
This is the most important part. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the President of the University of California and the Chancellor of the Berkeley campus, I confer upon you the degree Master of Laws, and with it all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.
As a reminder, the reception will be back at the law school. Congratulations.